Hey there, Jeffrey here, Sephora Beauty Director.
And Myiesha, also a beauty director.
And I know I'm really excited for this video because it's definitely a topic that I've experienced a concern with. We're here to talk all about fine hair. So for those of you out there that maybe have a little bit finer of a hair follicle, you feel like it's lackluster, needs a little bit of volume and lift, then this video is for you.
I would think one important part of this video is really thinking about hair texture versus hair density. I think when you hear the word fine, you sort of think of like very straight hair that maybe doesn't have a lot of density to it.
There's not a lot of it.
Not a lot of it.
Right.
But really, Jeffrey has finely textured hair, but his curl pattern is actually smaller and tighter and more uniform than mine. So I have coarse hair, so it doesn't always mean that someone has like more hair or like a tighter curl or a larger curl. It could be like pretty much anybody can have fine hair.
Right, so we're here to offer some solutions, a few products that you can incorporate into your normal shampoo routine, maybe some styling products, and even a fun new tool that can really change and add a lot of life to your hair. So what do we have first up?
So the first product that we have is from Myiesha, and this is their 3D Volume and Thickening Shampoo and Conditioner. And what's really cool about this, when I was researching it and looking into what it has in it, rice is a very hot ingredient in hair right now. I feel like every time you search any videos on hair, especially curlier hair, using rice proteins to help strengthen the hair is
that's what I was
really,
gonna say. It's a good source of
really
protein.
huge. Yeah, so it has hydrolyzed rice protein in it, and what that does is really interesting. When I was researching it, it contains both negative and positive charges, so they volumize the hair and lift the hair by sort of repelling one another, which is really cool.
That's cool.
So it also has hydrolyzed vegetable protein, so if you ever use vegetable glycerin, things like that in your hair, it's really moisturizing. It's a small enough molecule to penetrate the hair shaft, so you're getting it twofold. Sometimes volumizing products will lift the hair but not moisturize the hair.
Yeah, because a lot of people think they're counterintuitive, but actually you can have both.
Yeah, but it's doing both. And they work really well as a system. I find, even though I really love Myiesha's moisturizing conditioners and shampoos, I can use this just fine. It doesn't dry out my hair. It doesn't leave it sort of parched and brittle at all. So I feel like anybody with any sort of hair condition can use this for more volume overall.
Love that. Okay, so the next two products are definitely going to fall into kind of like the styling category. I can't tell you how many times I've spent at the beauty studio, you know, doing a makeover with a client, and then she looks in the mirror, and what's the first thing that she does?
The zhuzh.
The zhuzh. Let me touch my hair.
I feel like I didn't do a good job unless you touch your hair or like smooth over your hair, do something with it.
I know, and that's always kind of like my clue that she likes to make up, is that she goes right into the hair. I'm obsessed with it. But I always wanted to have a product handy that I could use to help build a little bit of volume and kind of boost the hair, right? So from Living Proof, we have the Full Dry Volume Blast. Now this has been a product that I've loved for quite some time, and I think I was really most intrigued by sort of the technology behind it. This is another really cool like techie product.
They do a really good job at that at Living Proof.
For sure. So they introduced an ingredient in here that actually builds microscopic texturizing points on the hair. The cool thing about it is that the more you touch and play with it throughout the day, the more it volumizes, because friction.
The point of contacts. It sounds really technical, but it's really cool how it works. The point of contacts come together and like build on each other.
Yeah, like
really
scaffolding or something, you know, right? So it's really, really awesome. And I've actually really seen it in action. So the product is really easy to use. You're just gonna spray it right into your dry hair. You can kind of touch and play with it. That's one of the key benefits of this product, is it's really touchable. And the more you kind of run your fingers through your hair, kind of touch it and kind of move your fingers through the scalp, the more volume you're going to get throughout the day. It's a really amazing product. So from Bumble & Bumble, we have the Thickening Dry Spun Volume Texture Spray. Now this is another quick, easy spray that you can just toss in your hair anytime you want to build a little bit of life. But this one actually has a little bit more of a hold to it, and I feel like it's also really great for kind of absorbing any extra oils that may be weighing the hair down, which is nice.
And it has a unique texture. Instead of like, it's not a dry shampoo necessarily, but it kind of gives benefits of a dry shampoo, but it has more of an HD powder feel, cornstarch feel, than like a pressed powder sort of feel.
Yeah.
It's very slick, so it moves throughout the hair. It won't weigh down the hair, and kind of aerates. It almost puts like little pockets of air within the hair.
Literally.
And when you're styling, you should always, like we talk about with makeup, like making sure the brush is going in the right direction and being very purposeful. You should be very purposeful with fine hair, like just kind of spraying it at the top and like going about your
with
day
it.
is not gonna do it. Like,
Right. So maybe you actually like kind of section out the
Mm-hmm.
hair, spray in between each layer, so that way you're sort of building the lift a lot like what you do with like a lip or like an eyeliner, you know, like you kind of start small and go big.
Something I have coarse hair, but it doesn't grow up. If you see like 4C hair that grows up versus growing out, my hair doesn't like stand up on its own. So what I was always taught is if I want a middle part that day, let my hair dry in a side part, and then when I'm ready to sort of, style my hair, push it over so my hair will be bigger because I'm moving it from the way that it dried. So if you're, used to a certain part, dry it in a different way, opposing directions, and then kind of like let it go. I get a lot of questions about people saying like, oh, your hair routine, like what do you use? I'm like, well, if you have finely textured hair, kind of from what I can see in the tiny profile picture, what I use might not work for you. It might be more of a styling routine, things you have to change. So be very purposeful with the way that you style your products too.
Cool. Love that.
So lastly, we have a very cool innovation tool from Drybar. This is the double shot blow dryer brush. I feel like they just always do tools so well. When I was heat styling on a regular basis, I always trusted Drybar to style my hair effectively, quickly, and with minimal heat. So this actually blows hot air. The plates on it don't actually get hot, so you can keep it very close to the scalp if you want to.
Which is nice.
Which is nice because as you're styling, you don't have a fear of like burning yourself or getting too close. And when you have finer hair and you're trying to build volume, you want to get pretty close to the root because you want to create a lift. You want your hair to go up and out, if that makes sense, instead of just straight down.
Right. It's almost like a round rolling technique. I think the best way to really get big hair is with a round brush.
He's from Texas.
And a
and
blow
his
dryer.
mom.
And this puts both of those into one for sure. So you can actually kind of take it and start at the root and sort of roll outwards, kind of defying gravity. And that will actually encourage the hair follicle to stay that way. That
You're training
little bit
your
of heat,
hair.
yeah, which is really, really nice. And plus, you're doing two things at one time. You're getting the volume and you're drying your hair at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like really, really quick.
Yeah.
So you're not having to dry your hair, then go back and restyle it directionally with your flat iron or your curler or whatever. It's like all in one process. Love that.
I feel like if you really want to lock it in, it works best when you do it on towel dried hair, maybe not soaking wet hair. It is a blow dryer, so you're treating it that way too. Because it has these sort of vents in it and it's getting air 360, it's going to dry your hair faster. So you'll find that you won't have to spend as much time drying your hair, but you can use it if your hair is already dry, already styled, to sort of re-zhuzh it, but you're going to get the most benefit from towel dried hair for sure.
And another little feature that I always love and I really appreciate is like the swivel cord. So that way,
you don't get tangled.
as you're using it, it's not wrapping around your arm.
So there you go, some tips and tricks and products for you, for those of you who have fine hair. And remember, fine hair doesn't discriminate between hair textures and different curl patterns. Anybody can have fine hair. It's all about encouraging your hair to have lift and using the right products.
Yes. So if you have some tips and tricks that you'd love to share with the audience, go ahead and shout that out in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, be sure to do so because you want to hang out with us and get all the tips and tricks that we're sharing. So until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.